We are joined from Cleveland, Ohio by Fifth Third Asset Management Portfolio Manager Ted Moore. Moore manages the Fifth Third Large Cap Value Fund and oversees more than 3.4 million shares of Microsoft stock. Ted, good to see you again, and I'm curious to know whether or not you like this idea of Microsoft coming back for Yahoo.
Well, you know, it depends on the price. They've been talking about it for years, and certainly we know about their partnership on web search. It's an interesting idea. Again, it's all about the price.
Well, I think the report's, what, $16 to $18 for Yahoo. Does that sound reasonable to you?
It sounds reasonable. It sounds reasonable, I would think.
Okay. you don't sound that enthusiastic about it. You want it cheaper?
Sure, always. You know, we're value investors. Microsoft has sometimes paid relatively high prices. We actually like the Skype acquisition in principle. We think, you know, they may have paid a little more than they needed to.
Right.
And it's a similar situation with Yahoo. Yahoo's business is not, growing by leaps and bounds. It's a question of whether they could get it cheaper a year from now.
Well, certainly they're getting it cheaper if they did buy it than they did a few years ago when they tried to get Yahoo. Now, you allude to this because Microsoft has not always been that great, right, at acquisitions. If they were to acquire Yahoo, is there any sense that they could, that they'd be able to handle this acquisition better than the others?
I think they've integrated some acquisitions pretty well. It's the largest one, of course, that they would have done by far. This is many times larger than their next largest acquisition. So there's really no reason to when a company does its largest acquisition ever and it hasn't had a tremendous track record of integration, there's no reason to believe it's going to go particularly smoothly this time.
Right. Well, and the reports are that Microsoft may not be doing it alone, that they may be joining up with private equity firms. Would you want Microsoft to go in ahead solo, or would you want them to have partners with them in this?
It depends who the partners are, and it depends who gets what. It depends if they're dividing up the company. Generally speaking, I would think it would be easier and smoother if they did it alone, but if there are certain parts that aren't of interest to Microsoft, and it doesn't seem like it's a perfect overlay, then that could be a good route as well.
What part do you want to make sure that Microsoft retains of Yahoo?
Well, web search, I like some of the properties overlap in terms of the MSN and the Yahoo personal web pages, items like that.
Okay. All right, Ted. Thank you.